Hey everyone, it's Anne. This video is about how to prepare for your virtual give and receive gathering. So probably by now you've watched the other two videos. There's a short kind of overview of what this thing even is and what the goal is. And then there's one about the sort of the nuts and bolts of the agenda. This one is specifically about how to prepare your offers and your asks and kind of what makes a good one and how to think about that. I guess the other how to prepare stuff is there's a like a one-page handout sheet that you can download and print out that can be helpful. That's a place where you can actually write down what you're planning to offer and to ask. And also just the basics of making sure that you know how to use Zoom and you have a setup that's going to work for you. That's all how to prepare. But let's talk about the offers and the asks, because it's really the meat of what we're doing together. So a good offer, so the one challenge we have being virtual is it used to be that an offer could be like, here, I have this bouquet of flowers, and you would bring it to the in-person event and that would be what you gave away. Can't really do that online, so we've got to be a little bit more creative about what kinds of things do we have to give. But within us we have so much. We have skills, we have time, we have attention, we have ideas, we have experience, we have connections. Sometimes we have physical things, like maybe you have something small and simple that you could pop in the mail to somebody. Maybe there are things that we can write, there are things that we can sing, there are things that we can create. There's all these things, like anything that you love to do can be a gift for somebody who needs it, or who would just, enjoy it. So think really, really broadly about what is it that you would like to give, that would feel fun for you to give, that wouldn't feel like a sacrifice, that would feel joyful if somebody were to want it and to get benefit from it. So that's kind of the feeling that you're going for. The feeling you're not going for is any kind of self-sacrifice, like I can do this thing, but I can do it, but either I don't really like to do it, even if somebody could use it, like I don't really want to, or I don't really want to do it without getting paid to do it. Don't offer it. Or if just in any way it just feels like it would take away something from you if you were to give it. Probably not a good gift. Maybe there's something related to it that would be better. And likewise, if it's a gift that kind of feels more self-serving than it does generous, that's probably not a good gift. And the best example I can come up with that is like if you had, my offer is you can save $20 on my $200 item that I'm selling. Like that's not really an offer. You know what I mean? It's kind of more like advertising or kind of like a veiled ask, actually, because the real ask is please buy my thing. So just be sensitive to this feeling of it would be a win for me to give this because I enjoy giving this kind of thing, and I can imagine it being a win for the other person because it's actually valuable to them. So that's my best guidance there right now. And then when it comes to the asks, the biggest advice is just be specific. And this can be challenging because sometimes you come in and like you're working on a really big life situation, or it's really tangled. And maybe it's like you need a job, or you're looking for customers, or you're trying to find some sort of solution for how to make your life work right now in these funny times. Those are all worthy things to be thinking about, but the crisper you can get about, well, like what is a specific thing that could move me forward in my desire for this, the clearer the better, because it makes it easier for people to help you, or to know if they can help you, or to know if they know somebody who might be able to help you. So I need a job. Does anybody have any leads on a job? Not as helpful as I'm looking to talk to people in this field. that might be a little bit more helpful. Do you know anybody in this field you'd be willing to introduce me to? Or I have a resume and I'd like somebody to take a look at it or look at this specific section and give me ideas for it. Or sometimes it's like I just have stuff on my mind. I'd like to just talk it over with somebody. Could somebody just be a sounding board for me for 30 minutes? Do you get what I'm saying? Just the more specific, the better. And people that can then weigh for themselves, okay, I know what they're asking. Would that feel good to me to give or not? And they can make that decision. So I may have more ideas on that later, more thoughts on that, but that's the thing that comes to mind. If you are selling things, this is a great place to put them. You know, hey, I'm looking for people who are interested in buying my widget or whatever. That's an ask. That's totally legit. Or I'm looking for ideas of how, you know, who might be interested in buying my widget right now. Something like that. Just trying to see if there's anything else on the ask. It can be tricky. I guess the only other advice on all of it is there's no perfect. If you go and you ask, the best you can come up with is something really general, fine. Chances are people will have something to offer you, even if it is really general, and maybe it'll be off base from what you actually need, but maybe that'll help you get closer to figuring out what it is that you really need. So it's all good. And I guess the other last thing to say is one concern people sometimes have is, well, what if I offer something and nobody wants it? Or what if I offer something and more than one person wants it? And I will. This is just where we just gotta breathe and just know that it's all okay. If what you're offering doesn't get any takers, that's all right. Doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't mean anything about them. It just means that there wasn't a fit right now. Fine, no big deal. And if lots of people want it, and maybe you've offered 1 hour of your time to do something, and the truth is really 1 hour feels good, but 5 hours doesn't feel good. You as the offerer completely have the say on who gets it, how you want to give, keeping in mind, the goal is to do it in a way that feels good and does not feel like a sacrifice to you, but actually feels joyful. So there's no guarantee here that if somebody says, I want something, they're going to get it. It's really up to you as the offerer to decide, and you just get to. It's because it's your life and it's your gift, right? And you don't owe it to anybody. This is all about what's the opportunity. And likewise, if you ask for something and nobody has anything for you, that's okay. It doesn't mean that there's no help available to you. It just means that right now, nobody who happened to be there had anything that occurred to them that might be useful to you that they felt in a position to give. And that's okay too. And sometimes the takeaway from that is like, well, maybe there's something different or more specific I could ask for, but also, I still want it, and maybe this isn't the group, but maybe you got clarity about something that's important to you, and then you'll find it someplace else. There's so many stories of I asked for it and give and receive, and then within a week I had it from some other source. Great. It's all good. The whole underlying principle of this is the more you put out there what you have to give and what you are open to receiving, the more opportunities show up for you to make those things happen. And that's just what we're trying to promote here. So I hope that's helpful. This is a super long video, but it feels really important to me to get kind of the underlying philosophy of this through, because that really, it makes for a really special experience, and the people who participate really, you come away with some tangible things, but there's also just this feeling of connection and this feeling of community and this knowing that you have a place here, and that you also need the other people in the community to make your life as good as it can be. And that's a really good thing to be reminded of. So again, really looking forward to sharing this space with you. Take care.